Here we go. This is the Brook Zero Pi fighting board. It's basically intended for like a replacement for the Zero Delay encoder, which is like this really crappy PCB. It's going to retail for about 25 bucks. You're going to find it at focusattack.com or arcadeshock.com. It's going to be compatible with PlayStation, PlayStation 2, PS3, PCX input, and then your retro systems, which is like retropie on a Raspberry Pi or a PC. And I also use recalbox. I'm going to be using this on recalbox. All right. So this is a Zero Pi. All right. This is what it looks like in person. Okay. It's very similar to Brook's boards here. One thing that I'm really concerned about is there's no screw terminals for the main input. So you do have to solder wires. I'm not sure if that's intentional or if this is my particular version of it, but it doesn't come with the screw terminals that we're used to with Brook boards. And it doesn't obviously have those new console support like PlayStation, Xbox One, you know, Switch, all that good stuff. This is the Zero Pi board. I showed you guys this on stream before, but I really want to just dig in and do a quick build for you guys. So that's that. I have this old Fight Stick case that I'm going to throw this in. Before I do anything, I did want to show you guys the PDF of the actual manual. So here it is, and a couple things that you should note on this. I'm not going to go really all through it, but a couple things of note is that, again, no screw terminals, right? You could put LEDs on here. What I wanted to bring and highlight is this J15 section. So this is how you actually plug in a PlayStation 1 or PS2 controller. You do have to splice one of the, maybe a cable from one of your old pads and solder in all these little points over here. So that has to happen. Right, USB can be handled a couple ways. There is a USB-B for PC, PlayStation 3, and there's also a connection right over here for your USB cable. All right, LED displays is how it functions. All the typical Brook stuff. So I'm not going to go too deep into this stuff. Here's the 20-pin connector, which I'll be using. Right, and you can probably find this on Brook's website when this thing ships. This should be pretty straightforward to build out. So this is the Brook 20-pin cable. I really just recommend buying this. Otherwise, you're gonna, you know, have a little bit of a nightmare trying to solder into this. But if that's your thing and you're really skilled at it, by all means, go for it. All right. Typically, all you have to do is find the controller side, the joystick side, or the D-pad, or the joystick side, and that's usually pin 1 on here. So I'm just gonna plug in this harness, knowing that pin 1 is the joystick, so that's in there. Bang, we're good to go on that. I'm pretty certain I gotta mount this somewhere down here. I'm not really sure where yet, but so this has to be this way. This is gonna be like the okay. First thing I'm gonna do is just plug in all the grounds. All right, there's also grounds for start, home, and select, right? So I'm gonna plug those in right now. Guys, I'm like basically done with this build. I just gotta plug this in, buckle this down, right? And then plug in the USB cable, and we're literally done. And how long has it been? Like less than 10 minutes since we started. It's insane. Well, here's the USB cable. So I'm gonna plug this in this way. This is a USB cable I had laying around. There you go. So another thing you could do too is if you didn't have the spare, I had the spare USB cable laying around, you could just connect it to the USB-B right over here. All right. So I'm gonna pop these little 3M adhesive feet. There's holes that you could pop these into right here. So I'm gonna push that through. Super simple build, guys. All right. And instantly you have an arcade stick. So you do have to buy all your parts and stuff. But this could just be a very easy build for you guys. If you guys are, you know, the type that makes retropie setups and you just wanted like an arcade stick, you could buy a case, you could buy buttons, and literally just have this set up and plug this bad boy in and you're good to go. I'm gonna stick it right in here. All right. Yeah, we're good. Boom. Okay. So, damn, that was like probably the fastest build I've ever done on live. Aha! Look at that. right away, I get controller 0 pi fighting board. Properties. Joystick works. 1, 2. Does this work? Yep. 3 is lighting up. 4, 5, 6. Good. All right. Looks like all my buttons are lighting up. Okay. So here's the test. Here's the test. We're gonna launch. Let's launch SF5. Only, I would play another game, but the reason why I want to play SF5 specifically because it specifically asks for X input. Everything works already. I don't even have to map anything because that's X input, and Street Fighter V already recognizes the game. The controller as X input. Look at that. So I already have this stick up and running, and you can too. You know, pretty straightforward. Nuts. Done. It's a cheap priced PCB, but a high quality PCB. The reason, so Brook boards are typically in the $60 range, right? And they're really high quality. They're very, very low latency for any, if you play fighting games or anything that requires, you know, fast inputs. They're the fastest PCBs around. And I've tested it very thoroughly. So yeah, this is basically like a really stripped down version of it for people who are really into like building retropie setups or recalbox setups. But again, on my end, if you guys are if you just play Steam, you know, play all your fighters via Steam, or any games via Steam, and you're looking for an arcade stick and don't really care about any console support, new generation console support, this is the way to go. I mean, you can't really go wrong. I've been streaming for 20 minutes. I already installed it. It's done. It's like we're all set. It shows up as X input on PC. So Street Fighter V just launched, and that requires X input. And I didn't even have to do anything. It was just working like right out of the box. So that's basically the beauty of this PCB. It's a cheap, high performing PCB for retropie and for X input for PC. And it also works on PlayStation 2, but you need to splice a wire in there. You need to solder in a wire.